How about all right? So Monday, let's talk about this NBA basketball, Hunter. Let's get that out of the way.
Yeah, let's knock that out of the way because I got a lot to say.
You do?
Not really.
Oh, okay.
But I do
wondering.
have a bone to pick with the Clippers.
With
the Clippers. They don't know how to finish a damn game.
Oh Lord.
These
Hunter.
2 games that they've lost back to back to the Denver Nuggets, they have had substantial double point leads in the third
They're
quarter.
up 16.
I think they were up
by like
18 in yesterday.
That's what I was talking about.
I just don't I don't understand. They just what? Do you think Clippers that you're too good to finish a ball game? You think, "Oh, we're up by 18, we can kind of coast right now?" And then you let all of the momentum you might have just dip off?
I turned it when the Nuggets had cut it to 8.
I think I started watching
flip back.
like midway third quarter, and I was like, "What the hell is this?"
I totally forgot to flip back to the basketball game.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I clicked back on it, the game was over, and they won by like 10. I was like, what in the world happened?
I know. It's ridiculous. I guess LeBron luckily gets another few days of extra rest because they're sitting there ready in the Western Conference Finals for whoever decides they want to win this game. Because they're not playing tonight. They're going to play tomorrow night.
Who had the Lakers waiting on
the Clippers?
Or whoever. Without the guys playing with the Lakers, it makes you just wonder,
Yeah, there's no basketball tonight. For as many days as we've had.
There's not one tonight?
Nope. Tomorrow is the first.
Why are they playing 2 games on the same day?
That's what I'm saying. Tomorrow is the opening game for the Miami-Boston series in Game 7. Why would they not do Boston-Miami tonight and Game 7 tomorrow and then have Boston and them ready for Wednesday, and then you can have Game 1 Thursday?
While we're picking bones about the schedule, why in the hell were they playing yesterday at 2 o'clock during all the NFL games?
That was the dumbest shit.
Like,
I'll admit that. Why? Who do you
night,
think was turning on?
The only thing you have is Cowboys
and
Rams and nothing else, but you decided to run like there's no other games.
Mm-mm.
Almost all NBA games are played at midnight, it seems like, and then this one, let's play at 1 o'clock on NFL Sunday.
Yeah, because we're going to take away from the NFL crowd. Yeah, that's definitely not going to happen. Yeah, it's definitely not going to happen. 1 o'clock on a NFL Sunday. The NBA thinks it can compete. First weekend of the NFL? No, there's no way in the world. Not at all. I don't believe that at all. Whoever did that was bad scheduling on their part. I know Kevin had to walk away, help with somebody in the studio. That was just bad planning on their part. But beside that, the NBA game as a whole, it ended up actually being really competitive, until the end, because if you didn't quite have a team to root for at the 2 o'clock, at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock hour, you ended up looking at your phone saying, well, holy shit, the Denver Nuggets are about to win this game against the Clippers, and we're going to have a Game 7.
You're worried about fantasy football? I didn't even know it was on. I didn't know it was on until
I didn't know it was
started.
on because until I went to the gym at about 2, and I looked up on the screen because I was like, I wonder what NFL games are going to be on the TVs in here. In one corner, it was the Green Bay Packers and the Vikings, and then the other corner, I was like, what? Is this a replay from the other night? I thought this was Game 5 I was watching between the Clippers and Nuggets, and it said Game 6. I'm like, I didn't even know you were on right now because the only thing that I could think of on a Sunday afternoon is NFL football.
So let me hit the back button on that so I can give you the number on that Clippers. Now remember, Hunter, I told you Saturday or
and see what's and think about it. Now they're playing at 9 o'clock on Tuesday, 9 p.m.
Yeah.
Couldn't have played at 9 o'clock
on Sunday. So, we talked about this the other day, is that in this series and in all the series right now in the NBA, because there is no team's got a big 3, right? Am I correct in that? So almost all the teams have a big 2 and then a supporting cast. So
the closest one you could say that has a big 3 is maybe Boston, because they can all score 20 at any point. Jaylen Brown, Kemba, and Jason Tatum.
You're right. They have the most or closest to a big 3, and the other ones don't. It's LeBron and Anthony Davis. It's Kawhi and Paul George.
It's Jokic and Murray, and
who's Butler? Nobody.
Maybe Bam.
So Butler's by himself.
Well,
The Celtics have 3, so he's
yeah.
outnumbered.
He is outnumbered.
And in the West, everything's 2-2, 2-2.
He's
Murray.
outnumbered, but it's one of those things where I think that team collectively can outplay a big 3.
So here's where I'm
Miami.
here's where I'm worried about with that. Okay, I don't think this Celtics team is that good. I don't trust Kemba at all. You know that he played like jack crap.
Yeah, he played like
last
bad. He
2
played
games.
bad the last 2 games. He really did.
He did. He choked it out, and if they would have lost, a lot of the blame would have had to been on his shoulders, wouldn't they?
Because they brought him in thinking he was the missing piece that Kyrie wasn't.
So Kyle Lowry, it's hard to win as a leader on as a point guard. Siakam don't show up, so he has almost no help from the wing. So he's in a situation where he's in trouble.
Yeah.
Now Butler is the wing, so he by himself will have to cancel out Tatum, and then it's team on team from there. And so it's gonna come between. Well, Miami's big defenders and their guards outshoot Kemba and Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart, and then as far as that goes, you know, can their big man control the boards? If you control the boards against Boston, I think you can be. I just don't see a 1, 2, and a 3 like that with young and inexperienced. Like they almost blew the Toronto series. If Toronto, put it this way, Hunter, if Toronto had Kawhi Leonard, who would win that series?
Toronto.
Okay,
I'll admit it. Toronto.
Let's even say this: if Toronto has Danny Green, does that even change the series? Because now you have a perimeter defender who can guard Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum and shoot the 3. And I remember we went to Game 7 and lost by how many? 4 or 5 points, Hunter? So
yeah, I don't know if Danny Green makes that big of a difference on this team because I don't see him making much of a difference for the Lakers team that is right now.
But he only had to do it 1 game.
Yeah, if he had to do it, maybe
he needed 10 points in Game 7. Is all
maybe he could. Maybe he makes a difference.
So the reason I went with Toronto and Denver from the start is that to me they were the best overall teams and played team ball. The lack of wing scoring for Toronto did them in, and I picked Denver to win it based on I thought Bo was getting 20 minutes a game. Because they're good enough to play with teams.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're good enough to play with teams, but not for me to pick them without. Like if they had a 20-point scorer like Bo, or if Michael Porter was doing it on a consistent basis, which he's not.
He's still a rookie, so
right.
That's
both
just
are.
That's to foresee. Yes.
And so if either one of them could throw in 20 on a consistent basis, they would be an extremely tough out because of Jokic and Murray are consistent, and the other guys are consistently okay.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I mean? Like it would be like
they get you their 10.
It'd be like those other guys were the Charlotte Hornets for the last 10 years.
Right.
And if you had Murray and Jokic on the Hornets, got a chance to run it.
Well, especially if they were in the East.
Right.
Yes.
So that's what I'm kind of at with them, and I just think they're going to even out. And again, it's going to come down to third or fourth guy benches in there for those 2 squads and those 2 teams. Same thing with the Lakers series. No matter which one whoever wins at Nuggets or Clippers, I think they both can beat the Lakers. I'm not saying
I
will.
was gonna say that whoever wins this. And I'm not going to say, and you're right, I'm glad you said that at the end. I'm not just going to say that they're going to flat out win. Because at the beginning of the playoffs, to me, it easily was going to be the Clippers. Now that I've watched the Clippers consistently in 3 different series, or no, only 2 different series, they are so hit and miss. But when they hit, their talent is outrageous, and they blow people out by like 18 to 20 points. Mm-hmm. But when it's off, they blow 18 to 20 point leads and end up getting beat by double digits. It just doesn't make any sense. So I can't sit here and say whoever comes out of this series is going to be able to cakewalk over the Lakers. No. Well, whoever comes out of the series, I believe, takes it 7 with the Lakers, whether it's the Nuggets or the Clippers.
Up 16 at halftime, lost by 13. Up 16 at halftime, lost by 13. Outscored by 29 points in the second half. How about this, Hunter?
Dumb.
The Clippers in the second half got a grand total of 35 points. The Nuggets in the third had 30, and in the fourth, 34. Like, where did they go? And, well, guy I follow, you probably don't even know who he is, but he used to play in the NBA. He was on the Bad Boys, like the 11th, 12th man. And the reason I follow him is just started following him for fun. His name's Hastings. It's Scott Hastings.
Okay.
And he's actually really funny, too. But he's one of the Nuggets announcers.
All right.
So he's Mr. Nugget on all this. And he says most teams, your defense creates offense. For this Nuggets team, it's always been offense first, and then we'll play defense.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what they've been talking about and pushing. I mean, Hunter,
And see what's
Kawhi, and George, 58 points.
Yeah,
The rest of
they
the starting
showed up.
lineup, 9.
Yeah, they showed up. Kawhi and Paul George. Yeah, I have been tough on Paul George with especially how he played in the series against the Mavericks.
Yeah.
He's started to show up at least in this series. And Kawhi Leonard has just been the steady hand that he is and throughout the playoffs. We know what that is. Everybody else has got to show up. And when they do show up, I think they can beat anybody.
And that's 2 points.
And the Clippers and the Lakers are both in the same spot. Anthony Davis and LeBron are going to show up. Is it anybody else going to show up? The Clippers are the same way. And the Nuggets, they gave Michael Porter Jr. a lot of flack for saying it, but I mean, he was right too because for them it's Jokic and Murray. Who else is going to step up?
Will it be a mistake if the Nuggets win and face the Lakers if the Lakers do not guard Jokic with Anthony Davis and send JaVale McGee and those guys out there?
Yes.
I
think it would be a mistake because
right.
Anthony Davis is more, how do I put this? Because they're both stupid big.
He's going to put 30 on every person not named Anthony Davis, right?
To me, Anthony Davis, he's more of a skilled defender, like outside of just the box. Like he can kind of stay in front of you a little bit because Jokic, sure, he can score back to the basket, but a lot of the points that he has scored against the Clippers has been perimeter 3-point shots that he's hit, or he hits that awkward-looking mid-range jumper, but he just hits it.
Yeah.
Like he's not abusing everybody on the inside.
So if you let me look at the matchup. So if you're the Lakers, this is your starting lineup: is LeBron, Pope, Danny Green, Morris, and Davis. Now everybody's claiming now that Rondo is the new big three with them. So
Rondo has got playoff experience with the Boston Celtics.
Is old Rondo, old LeBron?
I'm not calling LeBron old this year after what he's doing right now, but I know what you mean.
And 30 and young Anthony Davis, are they as good or better than young Rondo, medium to older Paul Pierce, and older Kevin Garnett? Because this is pretty much, that's the same team, is it not?
Ray Allen has to fit in that equation at some point.
They ain't got no.
They don't have a Ray Allen.
Got a Ray Allen.
No, I mean they could try and say, well, Danny Green's a spot-up shooter like Ray Allen was, but Danny Green is not the 3-point shooter Ray Allen was.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, he's not. Danny Green is a good 3-point shooter, but Ray Allen still had something to his game.
Danny's got flashes. Ray's is
Ray's
as solid
consistent.
as consistent as it gets.
Ray is probably one of the most consistent 3-point shooters I've ever seen in my life.
Right.
I don't know. I think. And I'll just straight up, seriously, like if I just sat here and think about it, Lakers will match up. Well, okay, reverse. I didn't mean to say the Lakers first. They're both LA teams. The Clippers or the Nuggets will match up fine with the Lakers. It just comes down to which bench outplays who, or which role players outplays the other. You know what I'm saying?
Every time they get double-digit points from Gary Harris, they seem to win.
You know because you know who's going to be the biggest problem for the Nuggets, or I'm sorry, not for the Nuggets, for the Lakers if they play the Nuggets, and it's Jamal Murray.
Right.
It's because he's the perimeter scorer that the Lakers always seem to have trouble stopping, and Jamal Murray does not pull the James Harden, where if you double team him, he gives up on the play.
Yeah.
If he gives the ball up, he's going to move off the ball. I don't know why James Harden did that, but that's they're out. So we don't.
Offensive philosophy, Hunters, to get it to the open man no matter what. That's why they got 3 or 5, 6, 5 guys out there. All right, Hunter.
That's
so
probably
game
what it is.
7. Before I go this, because I know you picked the Clippers. I just want y'all to know and give me props for the picks of the Nuggets and the Raptors. They've been pushed with no star in Toronto to 7 games, came back. And the Nuggets in 2 different series have come back from 3-1.
I liked your Nuggets pick better than I liked your Toronto pick.
And they would have been up in all those series if they played the secret weapon.
Okay, neither one. All right, listen. I still have the Clippers winning this, but I'm going to say this, and I'm going to look directly at the camera. The Clippers might be in trouble. Seriously, because all of the momentum the Clippers were riding on when they were up 3-1 is gone.
Yeah.
It is gone. This is just like This is literally, and everybody knows it, it's not a cliche. I mean, this is win or go home right now. All right, it's game 7.
Mm-hmm.
So I have the Clippers winning this game.
Listen, if my
they've shrunk, it seems, in games where they should be able to put it away.
Weren't the Celtics up 3-1 too?
Yeah.
If both of the teams I picked to make the finals lose in the second round, that's not a great pick. But they both lose going out in the second round.
In a game 7.
In 7 to the team that makes the finals. Now we're looking at maybe something.
Now, I will say this, though. I have the Celtics in the East going to the finals. I don't think that's going to be easy either. People forget. Like, Miami has had 3 or 4 days of rest so far.
Oh, I just think they're tougher. I done told you.
I think
Miami. We're in a street fight, and you got a Duke player, and I got Jimmy Butler. Y'all keep that Duke player.
No, I will admit that. I think well, that's the one thing.
Where'd
that
Jaylen Brown go? Kansas or something like that?
Jaylen Brown is from UCLA.
UCLA.
Mm-hmm.
He's
no. Jaylen Brown is from Cal. I think he played at Cal.
He's got to be He's got to be tougher from Los Angeles.
I think he played at Cal.
But Tatum and
yeah, he did. He played at Cal. My bad. I knew it was one of the Pac-12 teams. He played at Cal.
I mean, he got Jimmy Butler and a guy named Bam. Y'all gonna bring out here this Dookie out here?
They got Jay Crowder. I mean, they got guys that are not afraid to body up somebody.
Under no circumstance has a Duke player led his team to the championship either.
Mm-mm. I'm trying.
Kyrie hit one shot. Battier was on the Heat.
Kyrie does not count as a Duke player to me. So,
but but like I think Jordan has more championships than all the other Duke players combined in the history of Duke.
I'm not surprised.
So y'all keep picking Jason Tatum and Kemba.
Listen, and then I have to look at it like this too. What point guard is going to show up?
I will look at it this way.
as much as I like Kemba, and I think Kemba was the missing piece for Boston because he's played really well. Dragic has played outstanding.
The way they use Kemba, he can't take over.
Mm-mm.
Because for the love of God, I told Terry Saturday, I'll just never understand why he's not starting the offense and Jason Tatum is. And it's not, if that's your offense, fine. But what's the point of having Kemba out there? You could put anybody at point guard.
You could put a size guy out there where it's not a defensive liability.
A catch and shoot 3 person.
Yeah.
Instead of a short guy who likes to move. He's not a catch and shoot. He can probably catch and shoot with no problem.
He wants to create his own shot.
That's not what you want. You don't. Yeah. I don't know. It's just weird how they use him. All right. We got to get to football, but are you going to still holding on to your Clippers first?
I am going to hold on to the Clippers. I think talent-wise they're more talented, but execution-wise, if they can't get their shit together, they will get beat. And you know what? I'll root for just as hard for the Denver Nuggets as I would for the LA Clippers against the Lakers.
To beat the Lakers.
Yeah. Okay. That's exactly right.
Okay. All right, Hunter, let's talk.
Well, I will say this too. Wouldn't it be nice though, because you said it, how we've had nothing but like major market teams making championships, right? Wouldn't it be nice if Denver made it?
Yeah. Denver, Miami is what I'm pulling for.
Okay.
LA and Boston.
There you go.
You know how many times in my life it's been LA, Boston? I know the Clippers have never been there.
New York, whatever.
Remember though, Hunter, when everybody's talking about this, the Clippers have still never been
to a conference final.
To the Western Conference Finals, folks.
The longest franchise not to make a conference final, and then the second longest, the Hornets.
Yeah. Are they the only, I think they're the only two, aren't they? Or is there one more?
I think there's one more. It's the Pelicans.
Yep, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
There's only 3 teams in the NBA that's never made a conference finals, and it's the the Clippers, the Hornets, and the Pelicans. That's so sad. So sad. But hey, if Nuggets do it, that's another reason to pull for the Hunter. The Hunters. The Hornets Hunter is to pull for the Nuggets is to keep LA out, so the Hornets aren't the most god awful worst team in the history.
Right.
Even though they're trying their best.